The views on this program do not reflect those of ONTV or its board of directors. Welcome to Oaa Now, your home for Oakland Activities Association news and information. Here's your host, Sammy Terry.
Welcome to Oaa Now. Here I'm Sammy Terry, blogger of the Dragons Insider, blogger of Inside the OAA, one of the hosts weekly minutes on Orion with Television. I'd like to welcome our friends watching us on Orion with Television, also hearing us on the local voice this week. We got Ian Locke here this week here.
Yep, I'm back.
You are back, feeling a lot better.
Oh, yeah, it's been 3 weeks.
It's been...
Man, anybody who gets the winter ills, it just seems to linger, doesn't it? It just kind of hangs on. It just makes you feel bad for a long period. But I'm feeling much better.
That's good.
Drinking my OJ and hitting my vitamin C.
Same thing here.
And doing the show. So this always makes me feel better,
Oh,
too.
it does. I do want to send a apology to Pontiac football.
Okay.
We previously thought we reported that they did name their head coach. Unfortunately, they did not name their head coach as of yet. But the record is still there. They're 5-57 since 2011. And of course they got a tough schedule coming up. So I do want to wish everybody in the Pontiac football community.
So the process is still ongoing.
It's still ongoing over there.
What do they say? What do they say in journalism? It was an erroneous report that we had.
Erroneous sorts.
Yep.
An erroneous source. And, he's been accurate for me for a while now, but then again, this one he did not get right.
Yep. So we've
fixed it, we've addressed it, and now we're in good shape.
Hopefully they do name somebody soon. I mean,
they have to.
Because that was one thing we were chatting about is, hey, wow, that's great. They got somebody in place.
And then all of a sudden,
especially
and Lee Montgomery, the athletic director of Pontiac, did send out a statement, saying, that this process is still going.
Okay.
But whoever the new coach is there is going to have a lot of challenges over there at Pontiac.
Yep. Yeah.
As we talked about,
correct.
That they're going to have a huge, huge challenge.
Yeah.
And that's going to be very difficult.
Yep. So, as you say, we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yes, it is. Let's go to basketball now. A lot of basketball occurred over the week. Weird Friday in the boys ranks. Couple teams that got upset. I want to test their body temperatures.
Okay. See if they're still breathing.
Yes. Three teams got literally upset on the road. One really got upset. The other two didn't expect to see what happened there. The first,
what does that tell you? Road wins are tough in the OA.
Well, especially life in the red the red division. You know what I mean? Where you cannot take a day off in the red.
Yes.
And I want to look at the red in particular. Then we'll go into the blue. Actually, there was one upset in the white as well. We'll go over that.
Okay.
The first one in the red division is Lake Orion, North Farmington.
Mm-hmm.
That game took place at North Farmington on Friday night. That was a very odd score. It was 55-38 in favor of North Farmington beating Lake Orion. Nate Talbot, Drew Van Heck combined for 0 points in that game.
Rare.
Foul trouble was the difference maker there.
And foul trouble on any level.
It is.
Especially if you have key scorers, key offensive players, foul trouble. Michigan State ran into that on the road to Penn State, right? You see, it doesn't matter. It makes you go,
It makes you have to change your whole game plan a little bit. And, and I think playing on a smaller gym like North Farmington, I don't know if you've been to North Farmington.
The bandbox?
Yeah, I don't know if you played in that gym at all or been in that gym at all. I mean, it is really small, and it forces you to change a lot of your things. You're thinking
could be an intimidating.
It's an intimidating place to play at, but Lake Orion clearly did not play well in that game against North Farmington, and it showed.
But good win for North
Farmington. Of course, Yusuf Jihad had 16 points. He was offered a scholarship by Oakland.
Really? Good for him.
Greg Campbell was in the house in that game.
Awesome.
But let's look at Lake Orion's problems, especially the third score, the score that comes out of nowhere. West Bloomfield, in the game against West Bloomfield, they had one guy at 17 points. And then North Farmington, somebody comes out with 17 points. I think, when you look at
that's the difference in the game.
It is. I mean, especially in a low-scoring game, when you're not getting any production scoring, when you're not getting any production scoring for your bigs inside, it puts a lot of stress on your guards, you know what I mean? So,
do you think that's a comment on defensive intensity?
I got to give Todd Negocian a lot of credit for doing that. But I think it was bad on both. I think it was not good on Lake Orion's side that, their bigs got into foul trouble. Did some very unusual things in that game. Really unusual things.
Okay.
And now
they got to bounce back.
They got to bounce back. They got Oxford coming up on Tuesday.
So a tough bounce back rivalry on the road.
For North Farmington, they play Farmington, and we'll talk Farmington in a minute. But that was a head scratcher right there. That was a head scratcher over there at North Farmington. Another game we look at was Bloomfield Hills, beating West Bloomfield for the third straight time.
Wow.
They include the playoff game last year where Bloomfield Hills went and upset West Bloomfield. That was 46-36.
Wow.
And
seems to be their kryptonite, eh?
I don't know what
Can't
it
get
is.
by 'em.
I just don't know what it is with West Bloomfield. I mean,
matchups. Sometimes that's
West
the case.
Bloomfield has put up 80. They put up 66, 64. They put up 50. But against Bloomfield Hills, a team that really likes to slow it down, they only scored 36 points. Even when you have two players like Donovan Moore and Robert Johnson, you have Chase Glover on that team as well. I mean, I don't understand this.
That is a team imposing its will on another, right? Making you change what you do?
Well, Bloomfield Hills, we know they like to slow it down.
Yeah.
We know they like to slow it down, slow the tempo down.
It sounds like they did it.
And then it looks like they did do it. And they shoot timely threes. You know what I mean? And they shot at least 5 timely threes. It was a really weird game in that one.
Dude, you're shooting 5 threes. If the long ball's going in and your defense is holding.
And then here's the thing. The student section over there at Bloomfield Hills chanted Little Sister. Little Sister.
Really?
I mean, and...
So they were amped. They were
amped for that one.
Heck yeah.
They were amped for that one, but... What the heck happened to West Bloomfield? I mean, what happened in that game? I thought they would just go in there and just show their will. They should have been motivated after what happened to them the last 2 games where they lost both those games.
Yeah.
And they just didn't show up.
But you have to look at the other side, too.
Bloomfield Hills, yeah.
Usually what happens when the big dog comes into town, the quote-unquote lesser team usually plays up, right?
Yeah.
They play up. Well, now what you get to see is how are they going to handle the next game? Can they maintain this level?
That's the question.
And usually you get up for a big rivalry game or the big dog's in town, you're going to show them what's up.
It is a rivalry game.
And you do.
It is a rivalry. They call it the battle. They call it the Battle of Bloomfield.
Very good. But you know what I mean? It's like if you play up for them, how are you going to respond next? Do you play down next?
That's the question that I see, and I'm not sure how West Bloomfield prepared this game for Bloomfield Hills. Considering Bloomfield Hills coming off a really tough game against Lake Orion, they allowed 64 points.
Yeah.
It's kind of shocking. Bloomfield Hills will win games when they score about 40, about 50 points. Usually in high school boys basketball, you got to get about 50, 60 points. That'll usually win the games.
Yeah.
But for West Bloomfield to only score 36 points, that's just shocking.
But it's on the road, too. I mean,
is.
You're going back to what you said at the Open. Tough on the road in the red. It's tough on the road.
It's very difficult in the red.
It's tough on the road.
It is very difficult to win games on the road in the red. It is really difficult. You got all 7 teams in that division is really solid when you look at it.
Yeah.
But
also when you have these upsets, so you start looking at the standings and going, that shuffles things up, like unexpected losses or whatever.
Well, right now in the red, it's who's going to catch Clarkston.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, Clarkston did not play Friday night, but right now they are they're getting a lot of confidence, especially those 3 freshmen. When we look at Keegan Wasilk, Fletcher Lawyer, and of course, and then a junior, Matt Nicholson. I mean, they're gaining a lot of confidence, those 3 guys. And, seeing
just what the rest of the OAA didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
Clarkson with confidence.
But, I still think when you look at, and we'll talk about the blue, Pontiac, I still think is the best team. But let's go from the red division to the white.
Yeah.
A big upset occurred over at Stony Creek. Stony Creek beating Farmington 50-31. Farmington was averaging about 60 points a game coming in that game with Stony Creek, and then all of a sudden the team only scored 31 points. That's not acceptable.
I sense a trend.
It's odd. Well, here's Farmington's problem, and I think a lot of this comes to travel for them.
Okay.
Farmington always has issues playing north of M59. They always have issues. Them, North Farmington, and any southern team that wants to go north of 59, they have issues playing up there, And I think it's a different brand of basketball, north of M59 compared to south of M59. You know what I mean? I think it's a different brand.
More finesse north, more bruising south. I
think it's more bruising north of 59.
Really?
Physical teams up here. You look at teams like Clarkston, Lake Orion, Oxford. You have Adams. You have Pontiac, who can be physical.
Yes.
I mean, like, you have and then, of course, at the south, you look at the teams that want to be finesse. You know what I mean? You look at teams like a Ferndale. You look at a team like you look at, of course, Farmington, North Farmington. They like to play comfortable on their home gyms. I mean, now it's going to get tough for those teams, but I think there's a trend here. When you look at the trend, playing north of 59 kind of is a struggle, especially, and I'm going to use even more distance. You go north of M24. That's really difficult. So I think for Farmington, going up to Stony Creek, I didn't expect this one coming because Stony Creek was a 500 team coming into this one. Farmington was rolling, even though they had that loss early in the year to Adams. Just shocking, to say the least. Shocking.
Hey, but like we said, sometimes the opponent or the quote unquote lesser opponent plays up.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And now the white division right now is basically Adams is to lose because Adams now leads that league. They're a game up on Groves. Groves has to go to Adams.
That would be a
Farmington's
big game.
Farmington's 2 games. Now because Adams did beat Farmington early.
How many
year.
are left in the league matchups?
It's a 7-8-8 format. So and at least
so it's not like a closeout game.
No, it's not like a closeout game, but
it's going to set the tone for sure.
We'll talk about the how the divisional formats are coming up in the matter of minutes. And then the other upset in the blue division, Royal Oak led most of the game against Harrison, and then they lost by 3, 60-57 at home. To Harrison.
60-57.
At home.
Wow. 3 points.
Royal Oak, I've been really disappointed with this team. Really have. Because this is a team that comes up for the big game. You know what I mean? This was a team I thought would play better. I thought they would play better. They would get up for these type of games. I thought they would make some noise in the blue. They have not done that. And
missed an opportunity
they have missed a ton of opportunities to do that. And they are a 500 basketball team. They are a mystery to figure out. They've had some good wins, but they've had some really bad losses. When you look at Royal Oak Shrine, it was a bad loss for them. Kettering at the buzzer beater, that was bad. And now Harrison, of course, this was...
And close games.
And Harrison, this is really bad.
Yeah.
But Harrison...
Well, good for them.
In their final season as a school, have a 5-4 record, and they play Detroit Hope of Academy coming up, which that should be a win for them. Harrison, for some reason, is coming up and playing up and just in their final season of
what did we see with... I bet you all other teams that are still competing to the end, right? Just one last hurrah.
And right now, Harrison's showing that.
Yeah.
But for Royal Oak, I've just been really disappointed. I've been really disappointed with Royal Oak. They have not gotten it together. It looks like they have been inconsistent when you look at them. Let's look at the divisions. The divisional alignment. This week, of course, the blue. We'll go from the blue, white, and the red.
Yeah. Because without that shakeups, we get some upsets. That's going to shuffle things around. And if some of these teams that were upset don't get their act together, there's going to be trouble.
Yep. Let's go from the blue first. Judgment week for Pontiac. Pontiac coming in, we mentioned 10-0.
Yeah.
Really good. Really, really good. We talked about Pontiac a little bit pregame wise. I think that when you look at Pontiac, the way they're playing, they got 10 seniors. They're benefiting, I think, from playing in the blue division, but also they have a belief in each other.
Oh, yeah.
In that system. Of course, that win over Clarkson was really huge for them.
Absolutely. And early in the season, too, right?
And they have a win against Ferndale at Ferndale. So, and now they have Ferndale coming to Pontiac on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, they got to go to Oxford.
Ooh.
And that's going to be...
See, that's the game of the week in my mind. Don't you?
So when you look at Pontiac...
Oh, geez, two.
Yeah,
I mean, you say Ferndale.
If they could beat Ferndale again, Ferndale's basically out of the league race.
Wow.
And they've already lost to Oxford. So when you look at Ferndale, this is a big game for them. They need to go up to Pontiac and win that game at Side Green Gym. That's not going to be easy for them. And then, of course, the team that Pontiac is tied with is Oxford. They got a judgment week themselves this week. I mean, besides playing Pontiac at home, they got Lake Orion at home on Tuesday. So, so judgment week there for the Wildcats. I mean, I think both undefeated records are going to get tested.
Do you think Lake Orion will soften up Oxford for Pontiac?
I think Lake Orion's got a good chance to beat them.
But, I mean, it should be a tough battle. Every time those two, Lake Orion and Oxford hook up, it's a battle.
It's going to be a battle.
It's a big
Last year went overtime.
Yes.
Last year went overtime.
And that gym was hopping, man. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. And those guys going at it, don't you think that would soften Oxford up for Pontiac? I mean, you get two big games that mean
well,
big
then you
time
don't
this
know
week.
if Ferndale's going to soften up Pontiac.
Yeah, true.
So when you look at for Oxford,
I'd say for Oxford, that's murder's row this week.
This is going to be tough for them this week because you're going up against your arch rival Lake Orion, who's coming off a really seizing loss to North Farmington.
Yes,
and they're going to be coming in really upset.
Back. Oh yeah,
they're going to be really upset. And then of course you have Pontiac on that Thursday. That's going to be a really interesting matchup. Now Oxford really has improved when you look at, of course, who they got. Michael Reyes, you got Trey Townsend. But the key, I think, in that Lake Orion Oxford game is going to be the guard matchup. Is whose guards show up in that one?
Yeah, because
that's going to be the key in that matchup. Now it's going to be basically the same thing with Pontiac and Oxford because whose guards show up in that matchup, and I think that's going to be key there. Right now, when I look at the blue, it's still a 3-team race. But if Ferndale gets beat by Pontiac, I think Ferndale's out of that race, and it's come down to Oxford and Pontiac.
Did you in pregame? You mentioned is Ferndale looking at some new faces coming online?
They do have some transfers in there, but not all 5 of them are playing.
Yeah. So that was we thought all everybody's
5 of them,
coming.
Everybody's coming, but it's not been the case.
So that changes.
Changes the scope a little bit around the blue. When you look at, of course, now you're only dealing with 2 of the transfers.
Yeah,
not all 5 of them, because all 5 of them are now out. Well, 3 of them are out for the year. So that is a interesting development right there.
Definitely.
Weren't
they picked?
They were picked. Yeah, they were projected number 2 according to Scott Bernstein. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, it's like the wheels fell off.
Yeah. Didn't quite line up the way they thought.
Yeah. So Oxford, Pontiac both sit 10-0. That's going to change at the end of the week. One, maybe both of them might not be undefeated.
Crazy week. Oh, and make sure it probably won't be live. Mm-hmm. The Lake Orion Oxford game will be live on NFHS Network.
It'll be also on OCTV as well.
And OCTV on a delay. Mm-hmm. So these games are available to be watched at your local access center. So OCTV and Oxford will have both of these games. I got to see that Pontiac game. I want to see that.
That'll be really interesting. That for sure. That will be really, really interesting there. Looking at the rest of the teams in the blue division.
Yeah.
When you look at, of course, we talk about Harrison. Harrison right now sits, I believe, 4th place in the blue right now. And that's something to say. Berkeley, they've lost 4 straight, had a horrible loss to Seaholm. They got Ferndale University and Royal Oak. If they those are games I think they should win this week. If they don't win those games this week, then I'll be really disappointed in Berkeley. It's at 3-5 right now. Royal Oak we already talked about. And then Hazel Park. Now, Seaholm is like they're struggling in fight consistency right now. And then Hazel Park, we know about Hazel Park.
Yeah.
We know about them.
They're short timers too, right? They're heading out.
They're heading out. Yeah, they're leaving the league. They're
Even
at
only going to
they're going to the MAC. Yep, they're at 1-9 right now. D-Home is at 2-8 right now.
1-9. That's toughy.
And then let's go to the white division. Adams is mentioned. They are off to a good start. They're 8-2. Picked up a they've been surviving advance lately. 1-8 straight, gotten healthy. Gunnar Walter, on a roll. But they gotten healthy. Gunnar Walter's back. Payne Prieskorn did get back, but then he sprained his ankle against Groves. So we're gonna see where that goes. I'm not sure if he's back or not, but
his ankles, man, those take depending on how severe, they can take a long time to get you back to 100%.
But Adams right now, they're getting healthy, but I am really, really concerned about Brad Crichton's depth. You know, he only had 10 players. He only has 10 players on his varsity, which is never good. That's never good.
Start wearing down. Sometimes you start wearing down at the end of the season.
That's a big concern going forward.
Especially if you get some close games,
That's a big concern there.
Absolutely.
We've already talked about Farmington, about where's their mental mindset at after losing to Stony Creek like that. Now they have North Farmington on Monday night, which is going to be really interesting over at North.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how Tarrant Atkins, how Atkins, how Shepard, and also and Tariq Shepard, how they're gonna respond after a horrible loss like that. How they're gonna respond against North Farmington. North Farmington looking at a really good win against Lake Orion the other night.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how Farmington responds in that game. Groves right now obviously is the best. It's the third place team right now. They have they're 7-4 right now. I like where Benny White's got that team going. But they have not been consistent. They've had a couple of heartbreaking losses. They had a big win against Southfield, 1-point win. Then they turned around the 1-point loss to Adams. So when you look at Groves, we're right there on the cusp, right there.
Yeah.
And they just have not been consistent. Now they sit 7-4, which is really good. I mean, where they're at. But could they do some damage in the district round when they get there? Absolutely, because I don't think Birmingham Brother Rice is as good as people think. You know what I mean? Okay. I think they can win that district. Who knows? And then, of course, we look at Stony Creek, as mentioned, that big win against
big one.
That big win against Groves. I mean, big win against Farmington. Of course, they do have Groves coming up on Thursday, which is going to be, I think, a really tough game for Stony Creek. I think that when you look at Stony Creek, they've not been consistent. They're 5-6 right now. They're sitting really interesting. I know they have that game at Oakland University coming up with Rochester.
They do that too now?
It's not Rochester and Adams this year. It's Rochester and Stony Creek this year at Oakland University.
I can see them rotating. That's cool.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Started off with, was it
Adams and Rochester.
That, and back years ago, Waterford
Kettering, yeah.
Backyard,
they still do it.
The backyard brawl.
They still do it over there. They still do it at Oakland University.
I did the first one over there years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and that is fun. I mean, those kids have to get
and they bring both bands there to the game.
Oh, it's a great venue. It's fantastic.
Crazy.
Yep.
And then you have Stony Creek right now. Not been consistent. Same thing with Southfield. They haven't been consistent. They snapped a 3-game losing streak by beating Rochester.
Okay.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. And then of course, Troy Athens really been struggling. They lost to Madison Ice Bishop Foley. And then Rochester coursing at the cellar at 1-9. So
yeah,
it's been a long year for Rochester. They've lost 5 straight games since being Blue Bay Hills. They've lost 5 straight. That's not good.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is really tough.
Yeah, how do you stop the slide? You almost have to break it down into the it's so tough when you're on a slide. How do you get out of it? Can you shoot yourself out of a slide? Can you play defense out of a slide? What do you do?
That's a question. That's a question.
Gut check time. Does coach run him into the ground to get him out of a slide? I don't think pat him on the head.
No, I don't think you need to run him to the ground necessarily.
Yeah.
because you kind of, Rochester, you kind of expected this with them.
That's true.
With the loss of Hunter Schattler and Marco Gulich. It was going to be a struggle for them to begin with. It was going to be a really tough struggle for them to start with. And I think at the end of the day here, they've got some issues they got to address. But I think others have to step up. When you look at players like Corey Gulich, Cameron Kagans, Ryan Noble, Drake Reed, they all have to step up. You know what I mean? Is it tough right now? Yes. Do I think they're in the right division right now? No, I don't think Rochester's in the right division right now, and it's showing right now with the record that
that happens. We've seen it with other teams, too.
Oh, yeah, when you look at it.
You get shredded, and what do? You just kind of hang in there. And
you got to hang in there, and you got to hang in there and survive. It's not an easy league. You know what I mean? It is not an easy league, to say the least. And then, of course, look at the red division before we go on the break here. Clarkson, we talked about them. West Bloomfield, we talked about them. They got to get their head straight here. Clarkson right now firmly in control of the red.
Who do they have coming up?
Clarkston has to play Oak Park on Thursday.
Ooh.
That'll be very interesting.
Okay.
Road
or home?
That is at Oak Park.
Okay.
So that'll be very interesting there. West Bloomfield, they got to play North Farmington on Thursday. That's going to be really interesting.
They better watch themselves.
That game is I believe that is at West Bloomfield.
Oh, okay.
So
I was going to say, better watch yourselves if you're in that bandbox
really
over
interesting,
there.
Yeah. And then, of course, Lake Orion, we talked about them.
Yeah.
Got Oxford on Tuesday night, and then they got a very tough match Friday night against Montgomery Ainsworth.
Yes.
Really tough matchup there.
I don't know how I missed that one on the schedule. That's a toughie.
That's a really tough one.
And that is home,
Friday night
correct?
at Lake Orion, yep. That's going to be
Montgomery
really
Ainsworth
tough.
coming down to
Lake Orion.
Yeah, wow.
It's going to be really, really tough.
That one should be live on the NFHS network for
Lake Orion
fans and anybody else who signs it.
That's going to be really, really tough there. Oak Park, of course, they have not been consistent thus far, needing a buzzer beater to beat Troy on Thursday night, 63-61. That was insane.
I love buzzer beaters, man.
Yep.
I love them.
Oak Park right now, relying a lot right now. Bloomfield Hills, we mentioned they got a big win against West Bloomfield. We'll see where they're at. I mean, this is a team I can't figure out. I mean, they had some big wins against North Farmington and West Bloomfield, but some really bad losses to Rochester and Novi. They lost on a buzzer beater to Novi, but
well, I mean, this time of year, think about it, Sam. I mean, this is the dog days, as they call them.
Oh,
this is
days,
is the guts. This is where your conditioning leading up to the season is going to come in handy, right? To keep you going through the slog, the road wins, and the challenges you have at home against rivals and things. This is right in the
they're
meat.
right now in the meat of the season right now.
Chunk of it,
and then you got Troy there too. I mean, Troy right now going through some issues themselves. I mean,
just got to get in, then you get your second win for the second.
I mean, Troy's lost 5 of 6 since their 5-0 start.
Wow.
They've lost 5 of 6.
Wow.
I mean, that's not good, but that's the dog days of playing in the red.
It is.
That is the dog days being in the red division.
Absolutely.
We'll see what happens going forward there. All right, let's take a break here. I want to talk girls basketball next here on Oaa Now.
This is Lake Orion's own, the local voice. Call ONTV and get on air 248-393-1060. Let your voice be heard. Internet radio for all. Call ONTV and get on air.
Please remember that CFL bulbs, those curly, energy-efficient light bulbs everybody is using to save electricity, shouldn't be thrown away in your trash. Neither should batteries or home medical sharps. You can check with your local community to see where they can be recycled. Some retailers will allow you to bring them in for recycling. You can also order simple kits online that allow you to collect your recyclables and simply mail them away to be properly recycled. This green tip was brought to you by your friends at Waste Management.
Welcome back to Oaa Now. Here, I'm Sammy Community here with Ian here.
Hey.
Let's go from boys basketball. Let's go to girls now.
Yeah, what's going on?
A lot of news around the girls here.
Did we run into a lot of upsets on the girls' side?
Not a lot of upsets as expected, though, as much as it was on the boys.
What a crazy week on the guys' side.
Well, and now you have on the girls' side, we got some teams that have some big concerns. I am really concerned about is one team I'm really particularly concerned about. And that is Bloomfield Hills. I do want to talk a little bit of the North Farmington game. Okay. I do want to talk about that one.
Just a slight rivalry.
Yeah, just a slight rivalry, but North Farmington, of course, blew another game. Farmington, of course, losing to North Farmington in a really low-scoring game on last Monday night over at North Farmington. And this one was 33. It was 33-28.
Whoa.
It was, and Farmington had the lead for basically 3.5 quarters until North Farmington decided to their experience took over in that game. When I look at North Farmington, this is a team that's got some big issues. You can't rely on Maya Kelly and Molly Simpson to save you, you know. And 2 weeks ago, I criticized Molly Simpson's defensive game. I've criticized, you know what I mean? I think she can be a better defender. I think she can be a better dribbler instead of a straight up 3-point shooter. But she had 12 points in that game against Farmington. Maya Kelly got into some foul trouble in that one,
which is always tough to work around.
Yep. But when you look at North Farmington, the problem that I have with this team is they don't have a lot of interior. The interior game is a big time problem for them. It really is. And
we've seen that across year in, year out. If you don't have a big,
you're gonna
be in trouble. Yeah.
You ain't gonna do well. And for Farmington, this is the second game where I have heard or seen that they have blown a third quarter, blown a lead.
Yeah.
They blew one against South Lyon, and then where they were up big, and then they fell apart late. And then here, same thing had happened. Here, I mean, like, the problem with Laura Guzman's team is they struggle at times to protect leads.
Just finish.
You just got to finish.
Yeah.
And that was a head scratcher for me. I'm saying to myself, could Farmington do it to North Farmington? Could they go on the road to North Farmington and win?
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. That's the second time they've blown a game where they've lost.
What's the team's makeup in class? Is it a younger team?
They got Isaiah Ramson. Yeah, they got a lot coming. They had to replace him a year ago, but they got Isaiah Ramson, who's a really good point guard. They got Cecilia Norris, who's not a bad big.
Yeah.
But
because sometimes, you know,
they got a lot of depth.
If you got a lot of young kids playing in a big rivalry game, and all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, we're up."
This is not your typical North Farmington team.
What do we do?
This is not your typical North Farmington team, though.
Yeah.
Because last year, North Farmington had Samantha Cherney. They had Sam Cherney, who had a really big year for that team. Now she's not there anymore. She graduated. Now you got to replace a big. You got to replace that type of size. That's not easy to do.
No.
And this was, I think, Farmington's best chance to beat North. Now, it's gone. It is gone. They're not in the same district. They're not in the same division, you know. But this was their best chance.
Yeah.
And they blew it. I also want to talk a couple others around the girls' ranks, too. Rochester Adams and Troy perhaps was the most oddest game I've seen. And there's a video on this. Adams was down 11, 42-31 with 2:04 left. Adams gets 2 free throws, 42-33. Then they trap Troy, get a turnover. Adams then gets a 3-pointer from Lauren Petersmark.
Whoa.
Hits a 3, and then 42-36. So then Troy goes down, misses another shot. Here comes Adams. Maddie DeLinga, their sophomore, hits a 3 on the left in the left corner, 42-39. And then, of course, they get another miss.
So that's 6.
And DeLinga hits another one, ties it up at 42.
Another 3?
And 11 points in 62 seconds. Forces overtime.
Wow.
And in overtime, Adams beats Troy 50-48.
Wow.
If you're Simon Bottle, what are you saying right now? What are you thinking right now?
Clutch.
I want to know in that game is where in the world was Emily Olsen in that game? Where was she in that one? She must have fouled out or something. But I'm saying
But you got to give,
you got to give Adams credit, yeah.
Oh, the steely-eyed three-point shooters to make that happen.
Adams is a team that has a lot of three-point shooters. When we look at Maddie Delinga, look at Laura Petersmark, Amelia Drain can go shoot a three. You know what I mean?
In that pressure situation, the odds, 3 in a row,
yeah.
Usually the odds are in your favor. And usually the coach will say, hey, I'll run with those odds.
It's a good.
But wow.
But still, if you're
too bad we didn't have the video. I'd love to be playing this.
If you're Shea Lewis, this is big. This is big for you.
Wow.
Because this is going to give you energy now.
Oh,
this is going to give you belief. It's going to give you belief and all that. But if you're Simon Bottle, and you got to be just mind-boggled.
Well, sometimes you shake your head. You just say, it happened. It's not something that you planned for. Execution, you missed a couple shots. Did they need any shots? Could they have dribbled it out? If there's that much time, draw a foul, get to the line.
You were dominating inside against them.
Yeah.
You had Adina Sansky, a Kendall Sider. You know what I mean? Those two bigs dominating in that game.
Yeah.
But
you were saying, it was, in 60, how many seconds?
62 seconds.
62
11 points in 62 seconds.
Do you just stall ball it and have them foul you, and then you get to the line? Maybe their free throw shooting isn't that great. If they're going to go down and attempt, a 2-point shot at that situation, usually it's hang on to the ball, get fouled,
Adams
keep the clock running.
Adams has been playing better lately. Of course, they had a win against Troy Athens. It was huge for them.
Wow.
And then now you get this against Troy. A really I think Troy's not a bad team, because they've got some wins there that they've had.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, of course,
I'm going to have to dig that up. I got to see that.
Yeah, we'll dig it up. We'll dig it up here. And then let's look at Berkeley.
Uh-oh.
7-1.
Yeah.
For a reason. They beat Groves, but they lost to Watford Mott. And I'm looking at their record, and they're all happy it's 7-1. But have you played anybody? Come on. I'm not being mean to Kirk Carolyn's team here, but you don't pass the eyeball test for me. You really don't pass that test until you play somebody. You play a team like Birmingham Marion, and you play a team like Royal Oak in your district. Playing the type of teams in the Blue Division ain't gonna get you any better. They ain't. And do I think Berkeley is the cream of crop in the Blue Division? Absolutely not. And here's why I think that. You look at Seaholm. I understand they got a first-year coach, Chris Manchester, and they got a lot of. It's a mess over there, but they're 4-2 right now. They're benefiting from playing in that Blue Division.
Okay.
And then there's a team named Rochester, who I think clearly is the best team in the Blue Division. Despite their record, they have played a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
But I think when I look at Berkeley and Rochester comparing it, it's not even a comparison to me. I think Rochester's played a more tougher schedule. I think Rochester's played I think Rochester has the tools to beat Berkeley. I think they can beat Berkeley.
And the matchup's coming, right? I mean, it's got to be coming.
It's coming. But Berkeley's sitting at 7-1. I'm looking at that record and I'm saying to myself,
hey, you win the teams that are put before you, right? We've talked about this before.
We talked about this, but it reminds me of their boys team a year ago. Remember that?
Well, that was 10-0.
That was 10-0, and then look what happened. Titanic sank.
Titanic, and then the moon crashed into the earth, and the dinosaurs came back.
Yep. And then, do I look at it from the girls' side of things? Probably not.
I don't.
But until this team plays somebody legit, I cannot buy this basketball team. Not even close.
But like we said, the matchups are coming. You have to play each other, right? So it's going to come.
But I want to see Berkeley play. I want to see Berkeley play a team in the white, like a West Bloomfield, a West Bloomfield, a Troy, Adams,
Yeah.
Oxford, Lake Orion, and see how they do in the white. Because I'll tell you what, they are not 7-1 if they're in the white division. They are not 7-1. That is obvious. Because I think all those teams in the white are, with maybe the exception of Farmington, are better than Berkeley. Now they did beat Groves, and they say, well, we beat Groves. Groves is in the red division. Groves is not a red built team. I'm sorry.
Come on, Sam.
Groves is not a built red team.
They beat somebody you said out of division.
Yeah, they did beat Athens. They beat Troy Athens. Athens, of course, they're another head scratcher because they've had some tough losses. Athens lost by one to Adams. They did beat Rochester by 1 point. And then they went into Lake Orion and lost by 20.
Yeah.
They lost 39-19 to Lake Orion.
Wow.
Now, Lake Orion had a 3-point barrage, shooting 8 threes in that one.
But you scored 19 points.
Yeah, score 19 points. That's not good. That's not good.
No.
So when I look at the teams right now, Southfield Arts and Tech is on a they're rolling people.
They are what we thought they would be.
They are who we thought they would be. They are right now rolling. They got wins against Stony Creek, Birmingham, Detroit Country Day. And also they knocked off Lake Carmen Ainsworth. Their only loss was to Saginaw Heritage, which is a very good team there. Lost by 2 to them. But right now, Southfield clearly on a mission right now. They are rolling people right now.
Yeah.
And they
as expected.
As expected.
As
they got a tough district. They got a tough district coming up with Detroit Renaissance in there.
Yeah.
But when I look at the other teams, Stony Creek, you might want to put an asterisk on them because
I'm afraid to know what.
Because they had 2 of their starters not playing that game.
Injury?
Had other commitments.
Oh, that's right.
And other commitments. Anytime that happens, that's going to make a coach nuts.
You don't want to say the commitments?
No, I'm not going to say it on air. But I know what they were.
Other sporting
commitments. That drives the coach insane.
It drives the fans.
Here's a big game for you.
Yes.
Go at home. You're playing Southfield Arts and Tech, and then this happens.
Oh, sorry, I got something going on.
You get blown out, and then they get worse. They get blown out 75-32.
Can't make it.
That's bad.
Sorry.
That's rough. That's rough.
Can't make it.
I don't know. Southfield's a whole other animal, though. It's not. So I might as well give Stony Creek a pass here for this. I'm going to give them a pass.
You think even full strength they would have
Even full strength they would have been that bad. But now it's a big one for Stony Creek. They got to take on Royal Oak on Tuesday. I believe that's at Royal Oak. Royal Oak putting their perfect undefeated 8-0 record on the line against Stony Creek.
There you go.
You know what?
Is that a legit 8-0?
It is.
Or you have an asterisk next to that too?
I might as well. Well, the teams that they played have been kind of like they played some good opponents. But there's a couple teams I'm really concerned about in that red division.
All right.
There's one that's rolling right now, and there's one that is really concerning me. The one I'm mostly concerned about is Bloomfield Hills. I think that if with the injury to Miriam Hashim, it's a big injury for them. Now I did get some good news from just now from Bloomfield Hills.
Okay.
No structural damage done.
Oh, that was okay.
No structural damage done to Miriam Hashim, her injury.
Very good. That's
very
always
good news.
Good to hear.
So I don't think she'll play the rest of the week, though. She will be back at some point, which is going to be really huge for Jeff Rubin's team.
I don't know if you listeners understand the connections that Sammy has.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to share. I mean, your fingers and the people you know. I mean, this isn't. I mean, this show isn't just show and making up. I mean, he's got links to all these people. So this morning we're like trying to see the condition of a player, and boom, 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 he's magic on his phone, and here we get the answers for all you guys. So
So
Sammy's way to go, Sam.
I think that's a big
huge
plus when she comes back.
Absolutely.
When Hashim comes back, Bloomfield Hills is a much different team.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be.
I'm glad that it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I always hate to see player go down.
I don't like to see that happen either. I really don't like to see that happen either.
Yeah.
But the team that's red hot right now in the red is Clarkston. 4 straight wins since an 0-5 start.
Crazy.
That's a credit to John Wire and his staff. Clarkson's got literally a young team.
Yes.
Literally a young team. And they have won 4 straight games. Of course, knocking off Bloomfield Hills was huge for them.
Yes.
Then they knocked off Lakeland and Skyline. And then they beat
Skyline's
Grove.
no slouch.
Skyline, yeah, they're not bad.
I don't know what the record is, but any team out of Ann Arbor.
Yeah, Skyline's not a
Usually
bad team,
tough.
but Clarkson knocked them off. And then beat Lakeland. Lakeland a little bit down. Of course, they had to find a game considering what happened to Clarkson, that Detroit Renaissance mess. And then and then beating Groves, of course, on the road. Good win for Clarkson. I like where John Wire has that team going.
Yeah.
I know they got a young group of girls, but they're starting to pick it up. You got Caitlin Call there, Lexi Litton there. You got I like 2 of their 2 freshmen on varsity. One of them, I think that 23 girl is really good. I think she's going to be a very special player there. And all that, and you have Taylor Heaton there, the lone starter back from that state quarterfinal team.
Wow.
And that says a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge credit to John Wire and his staff.
But we've seen it time and again. The Wolves. Solid coaching, solid kids. Just when you think you count them out, boom, here they come.
Yep.
And it's good to see if 0-5 start to rattle off 5
And a murder's roll was scheduled, too.
Yeah.
Murder's roll was scheduled, too. It was really tough on them, but that right now it's
Can't
paying
write
off
them
for
off.
Clark.
Yeah, hey.
Can't write them off. Right now, then you have Groves in there, who's sitting in the cellar right now. Did not look good against Berkeley at all, and then losing to Clarkston. It's going to be a long year for Jessica Weezer and her team there. Let's go from the red to the white. The white, you have West Bloomfield, you have Avondale. Avondale cut off a good win against Oxford the other day, 44-35. West Bloomfield, they're rolling people right now. We did talk Adams coming up there. They're starting to get things going. Troy's going to be a question mark. What happened to them? Of course, they have not been the same team since beating Lake Orion. They have looked really shaky when you look at them, Troy. They've lost 2 straight since being Lake Orion. And then, of course, there's Lake Orion.
Yeah.
Lake Orion sits at 5-2 right now. Has a really difficult week coming up.
Yes.
They got to play at West Bloomfield and at Avondale. Those are going to be 2 tough games for this group. Lake Orion right now sits at 5-2. It looks like they are starting to find an identity under Coach Bob Bridges.
Which is
still
good.
not there yet.
We've been waiting, a year and a half?
But when you look at Lake Orion, and you look at the Dragons, this is a team that, has to be a defensive first team for this team to be successful. Because you don't have a superstar player on this team.
Yeah.
You really don't have that.
There's a true team out there rolling.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be. But if there's a player I've been really excited about looking at watching, it's Melissa Norman. I think she has really got it together a little. She's improving each day. And I think, and everybody says with this team, Lake Orion's as good as Peyton Shaddai and Sophie Wyborski takes.
Yeah. And
that is true. But Melissa Norman has really improved her game lately. And that's a good thing for this team going forward. I love the direction that Bob Bridges has his team going. They've got to now I'm curious to see the key for this team this week is going to be their mental state. That's going to be the key.
And 2 on the road.
2 on the road, really tough.
Yeah, but if they come out of this and go 7-2,
if they can split this one, this will be great.
You think a split would be that would be the best case for them?
That would be the best case for them because West Bloomfield, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. They held Farmington to 17 points. They are that good.
Yeah, that's good.
West Bloomfield's really good. There's no doubt that's not even a
maybe
question.
An upset's in order.
Who knows?
Underdog on the road.
Who knows?
We saw it last week.
Who knows? Maybe an upset there. And then, of course, Troy Athens. We don't know where they're at after losing to Lake Orion by 20. Farmington, we just talked about them. They got 3 home games coming up. they got 3 home games coming up, so that'll be helpful for them.
Yeah.
That usually is good for them.
Get you a little Momo.
Yeah, get you some motivation having 3 straight home games. So when I look at the White outlook, and then, of course, we talked at Oxford, we haven't talked much about them. They're coming off a tough loss to Avondale, and but I think that Wildcat team's fine. Avondale's a good team, but they're big. They're like a college-sized team. A lot of height on that team. But as mentioned, how's the schedule? They haven't really played an impressive type of schedule, and when they played a really solid team like West Bloomfield, they lost that game, and they had to survive Oxford. So, so I'm curious to see how Avondale is, heading into the matchups this week. So I'm very curious to see where they're at. But Oxford, I think they're fine. Oxford, I'm not pressing any panic buttons on them or anything. You know what I mean? I think Rachel Breyer's got her team in a really nice place. The Blue Division, of course, we talked Seaholm a little bit. We talked Berkeley. Berkeley's probably my rant of the week. Hazel Park.
Probably.
Yeah, Hazel Park, this is what I have to say about them.
Dropping your hands on the table and just say,
I don't know what to say.
Whatever.
I don't know what to say. Chad Osman's got that. They're 0-9 right now. Really tough on Chad Osman and his team. They were in it against Lampier. I heard they lost by 1 in that one.
Ooh.
So a lot of encouragement there, but they don't have a lot of depth. They don't have a lot of I'm curious to see where they're at. Ferndale off to 3-4 start. 3-4. It's not been a good week for them. 2 tough games coming up. They got to play Rochester and Melvindale. Melvindale. Yep. Pontiac, they've lost 6 of their last 7 since the 3-0 start.
Oh.
That's not good.
No.
And then of course we talked Berkeley. Berkeley, to me, it's been a mess there. It's been a really, really tough mess there. And then of course Seaholm, of course, as mentioned, they're out to a 4-2 start. But who knows? See what happens there.
Yeah.
It's a complete different 360 from Chris Manchester to January Haleski. And then you look at Rochester, who I think is the crop of the white division, blue division. Just played a tough schedule.
Yeah.
I still think they're the cream of the crop. Team of the crop.
They're the ones that are have the eye on the prize.
Eye on the prize right now.
Cool.
All right, let's take a break here. I want to talk other sports here as well. Here on Oaa Now.
Music, weather, sports, and you.
Me?
Yes, you. You're listening to The Local Voice.
This is The Local Voice, where you can listen to your favorite classic rock songs, as well as podcasts created by ONTV and its volunteers. If you're looking for a high school sports update show, we have Oaa Now. If you want to hear about some great movies, we have Movies for Dumb Guys. You can also create your own podcast by taking a course with us. For more information, call 248-393-1060.
Welcome back to Oaa Now. Here I'm Sammy Timmy here with Ian Lockett.
Hey, Sam.
Haven't talked a lot of other sports. Wrestling, of course, and cheerleading.
Yeah.
Wrestling, I still think Oxford and Clarkson are the 2 teams to beat in the wrestling ranks. I think Oxford has had to put on some really good performances. Clarkson, of course, won the Oakland County Championship in wrestling.
Good for them, yeah. I mean, Oxford always tough in wrestling.
Oh, they always are.
Year in, year out, man.
But Clarkson, of course, won the county.
Yeah, that's good for them.
That's
Congrats.
good for them. And then, of course, competitive cheerleading. Of course, I still think when I look at the cheerleading ranks, Stony Creek, Adams, Rochester, Troy, Athens, Lake Orion are all going to be there.
Seems like the same guys year in and year out. Or
It really is.
Same teams, I should say.
It really is. But I think, when you're looking at some improving cheerleading squads like Oxford Clarkson are getting there. West Bloomfield officially moved up to the red division for cheer.
Really? It's amazing how this is growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is growing so huge. If you've never been to like an OAA cheer competition or whatever, unbelievable. I mean, it's exciting. There's a ton of stuff going on.
A lot of energy, though.
You kind of sit there going, "Oh my word!"
A lot of energy.
Yeah, and
well, there's a lot of people that go for cheerleading meets. A lot of people.
It's exciting.
It is. Of course, we saw a lot going on the basketball docket this week.
Yes.
Powerlifting had their first meet the other day.
Okay.
I don't have any unofficial results as of yet.
Track season is officially in season for practice,
season for
right?
Indoor,
yeah.
But so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's exciting, and men's swimming is starting to get up into the pool, and winter. I know they usually have a couple meets before winter break, and they get the main training that they do all over winter break, and now they should be hitting the pool. So hopefully we can get some results.
Skiing underway.
I wonder if that's being well. It's been cold.
It's been cold, but the snow. It's not been a lot of snow.
Well, there's a lot of. I know here at Pine Ave, they've added more snowmaking machines up there. I guess.
Snow, yeah.
But with the temperature out, did you see? I know this is kind of off topic, but with talking about the ski teams, is that in December there was a half inch of snow measured. That a half.
I heard a rumor we could get a snowstorm maybe at the end of the week.
Yes, there's something coming, but all of December, 1/2 inch of snow. It's crazy.
That's unusual. Very unusual.
Yes. And we were thinking you get up to the 50 degrees a couple weeks ago.
Really unusual weather we've been having.
Crazy.
Really
almost feeling like track season.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Well, yeah.
We have postseason tournaments to deal with, so.
Oh yeah. I'm excited about those.
That'd be very interesting. Yeah. Of course, Lake Orion hosts a boys and girls basketball district this year.
Yes.
A lot of other districts as well. We will preview each of them in the next couple weeks. So
hey, I'm going to throw out something real quick here. The ONTV food drive's coming up, Sam.
It is.
And it's February 9th, Saturday, February 9th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's our 9th annual. And the boys from Between Terraminas will be hosting a half hour of live TV.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal, again, is 6,000 pounds for our food pantry, Oxford Orion Fish. And
on the Oaa Nation, I encourage you to support this.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll actually, when we post this up on Facebook, I'll put a link to the ONTV website where you can find information about the food drive. Always a great time. The great thing is all the volunteers from ONTV come in, students, community members, businessmen and women from around Lake Orion and the Oxford area, even Rochester area, come in and support those in need, especially for the food pantry. This time of year, as you know, Sam, because the shelves are just wiped out over the holiday season.
Oaa Nation, I encourage you to donate.
Absolutely.
I encourage you to donate.
Get on board.
Get on board. All right, now I'm going to sign off here this week here. I'm Sammy Termini here. Good luck to everybody this week. Take care, everybody. See y'all next week.
Take it easy, Sam. Oaa Now is produced by Sammy Terramina, and the views on this show are his and his alone. If you'd like to make your own podcast, give us a call at 248-393-1060. We'll see you next week. See ya.